So you just got your first pair of Louboutins, but you're scared to wear them out because you know your feet are probably going to be dying by the end of the night. Don't worry, we've all been there. Louboutins are so beautiful and stunning and iconic, but they're not known to be comfortable. So in this video, I'm actually going to help you make them comfortable. Believe it or not, I wear mine all day, every day to work. This is only possible because I take some serious time and dedication to breaking them in. So in this video, I'm going to show you the Mama Shark method for breaking in your Louboutins. That way you can wear them as often as you want, pain-free, and command every single room you walk into like the Mama Sharks I know you all are. So breaking in your Louboutins is honestly very simple. The main goal is to just wear them, to break them in over time. You just need to slowly wear them more and more until they have molded to your feet. I found it helps to have an actual process in mind to measure whether or not you met that ultimate goal of making them comfortable. You don't want to just wear them once or twice around the house and then say, okay, they're good to go, and then try to wear them out. Because if you wear them out longer than a couple hours, your feet are going to be dying. Breaking in your shoes is taking serious focus on actually making them comfortable for your specific shape feet. So for me, I have 3 phases. I have the red carpet phase, then I have the rehearsal phase, and then I have the premiere phase. So the red carpet phase is the phase where you protect your red bottoms at all costs. This is your grace period phase to walk around for maybe a week in your shoes, but keep them looking brand new. That way you can really analyze whether or not these are the right size for you, number one, and also the right style, because if it's a new style, you may not be 100% sure. But even if it's a style you always wear and you like the color, I would still take at least a week to walk around on the red carpet just to be sure. You just never know, and it's not going to kill you to have that 1 week wearing them on the red carpet. So I call it the red carpet phase because I literally pulled out a red carpet. It wasn't actually a carpet, it was a giant red blanket, but it looked like a red carpet. And I had it out for 2 weeks because I was really unsure with my first pair. The first time I went into the next phase and I stopped using the red carpet, my youngest daughter freaked out. Mommy, you can't wear Louboutins if you're not on a red carpet. But yeah, so that's why we call it the red carpet phase, is you do want to treat your Louboutins like you are at a red carpet event. Be very, very careful with them. In the store, of course, they tell you you can only wear the shoes on carpet. But the reality is that most houses now don't have carpet. So if you're like me and you don't have carpet, you're going to want to put out blankets and anything really soft that will protect the red bottom. As a side note, do not put down towels. When I first started doing this, I actually did have towels down as well. So I had my red carpet all over the floor, the red blanket, and then I had some towels kind of walking back to the bathroom. And I actually found that the towels left little signs of wear, like little indentations in the red bottoms, believe it or not. So make sure that if it's a carpet, even better, but if it's blankets, make sure they're super, super, super duper soft. The softest blankets you can find, just to be safe. For this phase for me, I put a red carpet all over my room, and then I kind of would just hang out. I would go over to my desk and check emails or drink some coffee. I'd put laundry on the bed and I would fold it. I would watch TV and walk around the room in the shoes. This is your time to really just sit and kind of analyze how these shoes are working for you and if they're really going to fit. During this phase, it's great to do your heel tests. I have a whole video on heel test. Now, a good tidbit of information is that it helps to put a little bit of lotion on the front part of your feet before you slip them into the shoe. This will help keep the shoe actually a little bit softer, the leather, but it will also greatly reduce that friction between your feet and the shoe, and it will make it easier for you to actually wear the shoe for longer periods of time. But I know in the beginning, especially during that red carpet phase, you may not want to do that or may not feel totally comfortable because they're new shoes. So if that's the case, then put on nylons. If you're having trouble, put on nylons and wear them around that way with the nylons on, because that does help a lot as well.
All right, guys, so in the rehearsal phase, this is the fun phase. It's the longest phase, but it's the most fun because your number one goal is just to get up every single day, put on your Louboutins, and strut around the house. Whatever you need to do at home, do it. Just do it looking good in your red bottoms. Wear them, try to start out at least an hour or two, but just make sure you wear them until your feet start hurting or get close to it and then take them off. You don't want to overdo it. Each day is a new day, so if you only make a 30 minutes today, that's okay too. Just build up every single day a little bit more and a little bit more, and eventually you will be walking around all day in your Louboutins with no pain. So let's get started.
So once you've decided that you are 100% keeping those shoes, then you can graduate into the rehearsal phase. So the rehearsal phase is going to be your longest phase. This is where you are actively trying to break them in around the house. This phase is great because if you're new Louboutins and you're not used to wearing heels, you can just spend a lot of time practicing, honestly, walking up and down the hall and getting used to walking in them. My first pair, it took me about a month and a half to break them in, which I know is a long time, but I spent a long time breaking them in because I wasn't used to wearing heels. So that really helped, and now I wear 100mm Louboutins every day to work. I'm so comfortable wearing them, but it was because I spent that time and effort practicing at home. So the main goal of the rehearsal phase is just to slowly and progressively wear the shoes longer each day until you can get up to 4 hours and still feel comfortable in them. So put them on, go fold laundry, go clean a room, go watch TV on the couch, go play with your kids, make dinner. You basically just need to be in the shoes, to live in the shoes. Now, it really doesn't matter what you do. You do want to walk around, but if you can't think of anything to do while walking around your house constantly, don't worry about it. Just be in them, just live in them. And don't worry so much as to whether or not you're standing up or sitting down. Just be in the shoes. Normally my daily process is that I will get up, I'll put a little bit of lotion on the front part of my feet, and then I'll wear the shoes around the house. Each day is going to be a little different. The first day you may only be able to wear them an hour, but then the second day maybe an hour 15. Or maybe the first day you can only wear them an hour, but then the second day maybe you can wear them for an hour in the morning and then an hour in the evening. Just whenever you get to a point where you think, hey, I could wear these for a little bit longer, put them on. So like I said, I put lotion on the front part of my feet, and then I will put the shoes on. I'll wear them around as long as I can. When I start to feel like it's hurting a little bit, not a lot, but just a little bit, I will do the sock technique. So I will take a sock, so you fold it forward, and then you put it on your feet, and then you just put your foot back in the shoe. So the sock is actually going to help the shoe stretch a teeny bit further, because it is making your feet thicker. But I actually found it kind of relieves some of that pain because it acts like a cushion in between your shoe and your feet. So I'll do that. I can probably get another hour just off of the sock technique. And then I found when I take off the sock, I can usually wear the shoes at least another half hour without the sock, because now the shoes are a little bit bigger and so they're not as tight on my feet. So I do that quite a bit. Usually every day at some point I use the sock technique to help me break them in even further. So just keep repeating every day, putting on the shoe until it starts to hurt, then do the sock technique for about an hour, and then maybe a little bit longer if you can, and the shoe after that, and then take them off. If you do this in the morning, you may actually be able to do it again in the evening. But just gauge how your feet are feeling that day and decide whether or not you're going to do a second round. So the other thing that I do that I feel is honestly one of the best things you can do and is so genius is you can get shoe stretch spray. So this is actually for shoe stretchers. But what I found is that if I just spray once on the inside of the shoe, and then I put my feet in there, it helps the shoe break in even quicker, I guess you could say. It really does. It makes a huge difference. I wish I had known about this in the beginning, because my first couple pairs were really hard to break in. But then once I started using this little hack, using that shoe stretch spray, my shoes started to break in so much quicker. So as you build up, throughout the week, if you're doing the sock technique, then maybe do that in the morning, and then maybe try to do the shoe stretch. Then maybe try to do the shoe stretch spray. I can't say it. Shoe stretch spray in the evening, and try that for a little bit, or vice versa. It's super, super duper helpful. So I will go throughout the week and I'll keep this daily routine of just wearing the shoes longer and longer, using either the shoe stretch spray, or I'll be using the sock technique. And then when I get towards the end of the week, I start to gauge how my toes are feeling. And if there is a specific spot on my feet that are really hurting, I will bring in a shoe stretcher for help. So I actually have two. Believe it or not, I actually think I need both of them. But so here's the shoe stretchers. I'll do a whole video on these because it's kind of a long explanation as to why I need two. But they're both great. And then like on this one, it's already kind of preset because my toe is hurting right here. So I'll basically take one of these targeted attachments, and then I will use that shoe stretch spray, and then I will put the shoe stretcher in the shoe and leave it overnight. Now, if you've never used a shoe stretcher before, I would just take it casually. Don't overdo it. I think the minimum time is like 6 hours. But just do a little bit at a time. That way you don't overstretch the shoe. It's always possible, so you want to make sure that you don't stretch it too far. But yeah, I definitely, especially because I have wide feet, like I really, really value the shoe stretcher for saving my feet. Now, if you have narrow feet, you honestly probably don't need the shoe stretcher. I don't think it'll be that bad for you, but for wide feet and extra wide feet, it's a lifesaver. Now, as the days and the weeks go on, you're gonna start wearing them longer and longer. You're gonna realize that your feet aren't hurting after an hour or even 2. And this is awesome. When you start realizing that they're getting more and more comfortable, it's so amazing. Then I'll just do more and more stuff around the house. Maybe I'll go for a walk even outside with my kids or something like that. Just start doing more and more to keep breaking them in even further. All right, guys, remember, wake up, kick ass, repeat. Let's go. So the next phase is the premiere phase. This is where you start wearing your Louboutins out and about and debuting them into the world. So when you get to that point where you can wear them for 3 hours at home and be comfortable, but you're not quite ready at 4, you can actually start the premiere phase and start wearing them out and about. I might put on my Louboutins and go pick up my kids from school. Or I'll put them on and then go to the grocery store for something really quick and then come back. You can start premiering them into the world and seeing how your feet feel as you're walking around doing normal activities in the world. Just go hang out, go do an activity, a short one, and then come back. And that will break them in even quicker and also let you know how comfortable they are out in the real world, because it's very different wearing them in the real world versus at home. Word of caution is that pavement is not friendly to Louboutins. I know with my hot chicks with that tiny little stiletto, it wears very quickly. So for the hot chicks and the big folies, I usually try to avoid pavement until I'm ready to actually wear them all day. But the thicker stilettos are fine. They'll last for a long time, no matter what type of pavement it is. But then you'll get to that one day where you've been wearing them for 4 hours and you'll think, oh my God, this is still kind of comfortable. It's really not that bad. Then you know you are ready to officially premiere them and graduate the course and wear them out into the world. So once you get to that 4-hour mark, I feel like you're pretty safe to wear them out comfortably wherever. For me, because most of my shoes, I have the goal of wearing them all day to work, what I will usually do is kind of an extra step in the premiere phase. I usually spend about 2 days wearing them at work, trying to make sure that they're ready, because it's just very scary that first time you wear them to work, because you never know. You're like, am I gonna make it to 6 hours, 8 hours? Like, you just never know. I'll pick a day and I'll wear them to work. And usually it's a day that I know I can leave early if I need to, or maybe in general, it's just a shorter work day for me. So I'll pick a day like that. I make sure that I have a Louboutin emergency survival kit with tons of goodies that help make high heels more comfortable. I'll bring that just in case. And then I will go to work that day and see how I make out. And usually I do pretty good. Sometimes the first day I start to feel it at like 6 hours, But then by the second day, I usually last all day and I'm good. And it just gets better from there as I wear them more and more often. But hitting that 4-hour mark at home is kind of my signal that I can try to wear them at work. So at some point, you are going to be walking around the house in your Louboutins, realize you've been walking around like all day in them, and you're fine. It'll happen. Hang in there. It'll happen. Just keep being intentional and dedicated to wearing them every day and slowly breaking them in. Throughout this process, always pay attention to how your feet are feeling. Believe it or not, I gave myself a blister with my first pair because I was just so gung-ho about wearing them that I actually caused a blister in my own home. Yep. So just be careful, constantly pay attention to your toes, how they're feeling, if they need a break, and just, take it easy. But at the same time, be very intentional with how you are wearing your shoes at home. While breaking in your shoes, just keep in mind that different leathers break in differently. The Nappa will break in a lot quicker and a lot farther than the patent or the embossed. Honestly, it's a great first shoe because it's so much softer, it's so much easier, and it's probably gonna be less shocking trying to break it in than if you got a patent. But like I said, it's super easy. It will take you a lot less time, probably half the time, to break in a Nappa over a patent or embossed. So you probably won't need the shoe stretcher. I've never needed a shoe stretcher on the Nappa, just the patent and the embossed. Suede, I think, is similar to Nappa if you have a suede. So this is an embossed. It is Nappa, but it's because of the embossed part, it's a lot harder to break in. So for this one, I do use usually the shoe stretcher on it at least once, maybe twice. And then the same for the patent, definitely the same for the patent. Patents is really, really, really hard. It's not gonna break in as far or as easily as the Nappa. The flip side is that long-term, the patent looks amazing because it holds its shape. So there is, a trade-off. But like I said, if you got the patent, it's gonna take you a lot longer to break in the shoes. Whereas the Nappa might take you 2 weeks, the patent might take you a month, month and a half. This one was a month and a half for me since this was my first pair, just to give you an idea of the timeline. There are 2 other hacks that I'm aware are out there. I do not do them. There is a hair dryer hack and a freezer hack. So the hair dryer one, you're supposed to do the sock technique, but then you put a hair dryer and basically dry the front part of your feet to get it warmer, so it supposedly breaks in quicker. I don't do that because honestly it makes me really nervous doing that, and I tried once and my feet were just really hot anyways. But I do worry about just that level of heat on the actual shoe might be damaging. There's also another hack where you stick the shoes in the freezer, and I guess this helps break them in. That terrifies me, so I don't do it. That's a little too extreme for me, and I'm the girl that uses the shoe stretcher strategically, and I think both of those hacks are just a little extreme. So if you want to try them, go ahead, but I'd honestly be very worried that I would ruin the shoe by doing that. In the end, you just need to wear the shoes and be very strategic about it. Alright guys, I hope this helped you guys. Just be focused and be strategic about breaking in your shoes. It's not super complicated, but just wear them more and more every day. Have a goal in mind for that day and just keep working towards it until they feel comfortable, because believe me, it is amazing when you get to the end of that breaking in period and you realize you can wear them for hours and hours and still be comfortable in them. My husband laughs at me all the time because when I'm breaking them in, at some point I will just stop and be like, oh my God, these are so comfortable. And he's like, you're crazy. They're 4-inch heels, but they really do. Louboutins actually for me get to be very comfortable once they're broken in. And I'd be thrilled if you guys were comfortable in them as well. If you have any more questions or wanting to find out more about how you can wear your Louboutins all day, every day to work, please see my Ultimate Comfort Guide video where I go into great detail about how I survive the workday in my Louboutins. Breaking in is important, but it's only one step of the process. I will be doing a video on the shoe stretcher, so if you're a wide foot mama out there like I am and you want to know more about using the shoe stretchers to help you survive the breaking in period, I got you covered, so I should have that out here in the next week or so. Hope this helped and hope you have a great day. Bye!